What is going on, you guys? So, today's video has a request from a man named Chad Holland. He is having low power and blowing white smoke, and it smells like fuel. Now, I ran into this problem at one point with this truck, same motor. It's identical to his, and I went through all the big steps finding out if it was the injectors, and I ended up having the injectors re-O-rings. If y'all don't remember, I rebuilt my turbo. But there's a few other things you can check just to see and make sure it's not one of the really, really costly fixes. Now we're about to go through those right now. If you're not already subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Like and comment, but here we go. One of the main things to look for, especially on the cm870 Cummins, sorry, the truck next to me is running. One of the main things to check is the actual turbocharger. Now, to do this, one, if you're getting low boost pressure, and if you have a pyro gauge, you'll see inside that if your exhaust gas temperatures are higher and your boost levels are low, then there's a couple things it could be. One, on these, the VNTs, it's inside here in the back. Sorry. It's inside in the back, could be stuck. It's not operating through its full range. Another thing, y'all know I already changed mine, the turbo actuator. Now, when I replaced my actuator, it did help, but it didn't take the problem away completely. Now, another thing, right up here, your manifold pressure sensor. If that's bad, if your engine's not, the engine computer's not reading correctly, it could be dumping fuel. That will also cause white smoke. Another thing, fuel filters. Go through all the little things first. What ultimately fixed my truck and fixed this issue, though, I didn't have to spend money on. It was just not thinking at the time, and something a lot of people overlook at the time, and it is right here. It just zip tied on there. That is your barometric pressure sensor. Excuse me. What the barometric pressure sensor does is it reads the ambient temperature and elevation, basically, for where you are. So say you're driving mountains, your ambient temperature and ambient pressure is going to be different than saying running flat ground here in Florida. Now, what normally happens is people will get their engine washed and it'll throw dirt up. Let me see, can you see in there? Right in there. There are 4 holes. There are 4 little holes that mess with the tiny diaphragm inside. Now, if those are clogged, you're not going to get a correct reading. It's going to think that you're deep up in the mountains, even though if you're running on flat ground, and it will be dumping fuel and changing your boost levels. Now, that being said, what I did to combat this is I got a paper clip. I cleaned the holes. Then I sprayed it out with throttle body cleaner. Make sure everything was good inside, put it back on. Truck ran perfect again. No lack of power, and she was back to her old glory. Now, if you have to replace your barometric pressure sensor, I mean, hell, you can always just order one offline for less than $50. But me, not even thinking of that sensor ahead of time, I ended up dropping a couple $1,000 to fix little issues, but not the one that was causing my issue for that problem. Another thing, check your couplers and all, but that's definitely one thing to check, because it doesn't cost you any money if you can just clean it. Now, I hope that helped you, and I hope you can use some of these tips and tricks that I'm teaching y'all on the road to help y'all make it easy, not cost you nearly as much on the road, and cut out downtime. Now, while my truck was doing that, the truck was only averaging about 5 miles to the gallon. Now she's back to her old glory, 100%, running great. And yeah, y'all take it easy, keep the rubber side down, like, comment, subscribe. Have a good one, y'all.